Raja Jackson has found himself at the center of a storm. And this week, the situation reached a breaking point when police in Huntington Beach served a warrant and took him into custody. Cameras were rolling when officers escorted him out of an apartment, his hands cuffed tightly behind his back, his expression showing frustration as onlookers captured the scene on their phones. It was a dramatic moment, but it didn't come out of nowhere. This arrest was tied directly to an incident that happened last month at a wrestling event. An incident that has now grown into one of the biggest stories in both wrestling circles and entertainment news. The heart of the matter is what went down in the middle of that wrestling ring. Raja Jackson was part of a show where the crowd expected to see staged moves, high-energy performances, and the usual rough-and-tumble entertainment. Instead, things took a shocking turn when Raja lashed out at performer Psycho Stu, hitting him with full force, even after he was clearly no longer able to defend himself. What should have been a carefully managed performance spiraled into something violent. The crowd instantly knew this wasn't part of the act. Stu was left unconscious in the ring, and the aftermath was serious enough that he ended up hospitalized for days. That single night turned Raja from an up-and-coming name in wrestling into a headline that would not go away. Footage from the event spread online, showing the shocking attack from multiple angles. Fans argued back and forth about what they saw, but no matter how you looked at it, Raja's actions crossed a line. In the world of professional wrestling, the performers trust each other to make moves look dramatic without causing real damage. Breaking that trust is something fans and insiders take seriously. It was only a matter of time before the fallout caught up to him. The arrest video adds another layer to the story. Seeing Raja in handcuffs, escorted by multiple officers, gave the public a raw look at the consequences of that night. He wasn't taken quietly. The disbelief in his eyes, and the murmurs of bystanders who clearly knew who he was. It was the kind of moment that blurs the line between celebrity and accountability. The kind of scene that makes you realize fame doesn't shield anyone from real-world consequences. After the arrest, he was booked in Pacoima and later released on a $50,000 bail. But the damage to his reputation may be harder to repair than any legal battle ahead. What makes this case even more intense is the reaction from his own family. Quentin "Rampage" Jackson, Raja's father, and a legendary name in mixed martial arts, didn't hold back when asked about his son's behavior. Instead of defending him, Rampage went on record saying Raja deserved time in jail to reflect on what he had done. That's not the kind of statement most people expect from a parent, especially when their child is facing the weight of public scrutiny. But it sent a clear message. Even those closest to Raja believe his actions were out of line. It also shows how serious this moment is, when even family won't step in to shield him from accountability. The wrestling world has been buzzing since the incident. Some fans have written Raja off completely, saying he doesn't belong in the ring again. Others argue that wrestling has always been about big personalities. Promoters, though, have to think about safety, reputation, and public image. It's not just about whether Raja is talented. It's about whether anyone will want to share the ring with him after this. Wrestling, after all, relies on trust between performers. And once that trust is broken, it can take years to rebuild. For Raja himself, this arrest is more than just a legal hiccup. It's the moment where his career path splits. He can choose to reflect, rebuild, and earn back the respect he lost. Or he can let this moment define him as someone who lost control and crossed a line in a way the industry won't forgive. His release on bail means he's back out in the world. But with cameras pointed his way and fans watching closely, every move from here will be magnified. The story isn't just about one fight or one arrested about what kind of future he chooses to carve out after a public downfall. Looking at the bigger picture, situations like this remind us of the fine line performers walk when mixing entertainment with real physical danger. Wrestling thrives on spectacle, but it depends on discipline. Raja's arrest shows what happens when someone ignores those limits, and it serves as a warning for anyone who might think they can blur the rules without consequences. The spectacle of his arrest video is dramatic, but the underlying story is about trust, responsibility, and what happens when those things are broken in front of thousands of fans. Now, stepping back to how we even got here, Raja Jackson has always carried the weight of a famous last name. Being the son of Rampage Jackson meant eyes were on him from the start. Expectations were high, and many assumed he would carve out his own legacy in combat sports or entertainment. That pressure can be both a blessing and a curse. For some, it drives them to greatness. For Raja, it seems that pressure may have pushed him into choices that now threaten to overshadow any talent he may have shown. The backstory adds layers to the arrest, but in the end, it doesn't change the reality of what people saw happen in the ring. The story of Raja Jackson's arrest isn't over. The legal process will play out, wrestling promoters will make their decisions, and fans will continue to debate whether he deserves a second chance. What's certain is that the video of him being taken away in handcuffs will be replayed again and again, a lasting image tied to his name. For someone who wanted to build a career in the spotlight, this is not the kind of attention he hoped for. Whether he can turn this low point into a chance for growth, or whether it cements him as a cautionary tale, is something only time will tell.
Fuck all that. Roger, I think that he should do a little time, do a little community service, and go to anger management class, see some therapy.
But that goes like some people said it was attempted murder and things like that. That's not a little time.
It wasn't attempted murder because he wasn't trying to kill that guy.
How do you know?
Because that's my son. I know my son. Roger wasn't trying to kill nobody. He wasn't trying to kill that guy. Roger probably didn't even know how bad he hurt that guy. He wasn't trying to kill that guy. The problem is everything got blown out of proportion, and people thought that Roger snuck into the fucking ring and did that. That's what the problem is. Like at this point, Roger was in the act as a pro wrestler, but he ain't no fucking pro wrestler. The promoters had no reason putting my son in that fucking ring. But it was no attempted fucking murder.